company. So again, very important that our students have this international exposure. We have an international student body, around 1,500 students from over 60 different nationalities. So some students say, I really want to have an international feel. I'd love to study in that environment. Well, we can offer that in our classrooms. And on top of the student body, we also have a lot of international staff. So that also adds to a different dimension. Teachers have different ways of doing things as well, but they also have their own background experiences. So previous business experience, but maybe some still have a business and they teach part-time. So it also adds to the classroom environment of learning, not just a textbook way, but also what happens in the real business world. Just to quickly show what is covered in the first and the second year. So some examples of subjects, of course, there's the core area of business, finance, marketing, human resource management, etc. But what's nice to know, we spend some time working on professional development, getting students prepared to go into the workplace, especially for the placement semester. Also dealing with intercultural competence. Are people ready to deal with these differences? How do they understand all the different cultures? So those are really key elements as well in our curriculum that help prepare our students for entering the business after graduation. Just coming back to the difference between the 3-year and the 4-year program, I did mention previously the entrance requirements, which are strict. So the 3-year program has very strict entrance requirements. Just to point out the difference, the 4-year students have a first year and a second year, and then they move into the year abroad in their graduation year. So they have 2 years following the subjects that I covered in the previous slide. 3-year program, what you'll see in blue, the 3-year program, and this again relates back to the strict requirements, they spend a longer period of time at secondary school. So therefore they have more knowledge, and that allowed us to develop a program about 6 years ago that allowed students to come in with a higher level of knowledge to work in sort of a little bit of a different way, more integration, but also allowed us to not spend so much time on mathematics and English, so maybe basic English skills, that our students were able to come in and start working at a little bit of a higher level. And then through setting up courses integrated way of learning, a lot of self-study, then we can get the students to the same level as students in the 4-year program at the end of their second year. So by the time students are ready to go on their year abroad, everyone's at the same level. They enter the same program and then graduate with the same year, and they have the same diploma. So it's really only the difference in the first year and the first and second year of the 4-year program. Of course, if I haven't explained maybe clearly enough or went a little bit too fast, you can always ask us questions afterwards and we can explain a bit more. But the main thing is the entrance requirements are strict for the 3-year program. A couple of things we stress in this presentation, if you are really considering joining the International Business School. Level of English. Of course, we don't expect students to come in at native level because coming to university is also about developing and learning and improving. But having a level of English where you feel confident, competent, just happy, or well, happy is maybe not the right word, but you're ready to study in English. It can be quite intense at the beginning. You're reading, listening, writing, speaking, maybe 8-10 hours per day. And at the beginning, that is quite tough. But students say after about 1-2 months, then English becomes not really an issue anymore. You think in English, everything is in English. It's our common language. So students sometimes forget the Dutch word for things and they say, I'm talking to my parents and I can't remember how to say that in Dutch. So after a while, if you stick with it, put the effort in, it really isn't an issue anymore. If you're sitting listening today thinking, oh, I don't really feel that confident yet, definitely try to work on that before you start in September. There's lots of things you can do beforehand. You can also start reading maybe different news articles, listen to BBC News. So try to expose yourself to more sort of business level English, and then you will see that also helps when you start to study. Mathematics, a subject that some people love, some people maybe don't love it so much, some people maybe hate it completely. It's important we point it out. It's part of our curriculum. We are training future business people, and to work in business, to have good businesses, you need to understand the numbers. No matter what area you end up in, even if you're the human resource manager and you think that's all people, you will still have to work with budgets. You'll still have to understand how that works. So in the first year and the second year, we have mathematics subjects. And again, it's not coming in with the best skills ever. You're here to learn, you're going to develop them. But it's, again, having that sort of attitude, I can do it. By going to class, maybe asking for a tutor if necessary, just help asking the teacher, maybe if you have difficulties. So there's resources there to help you. So please, it's not, we don't want to put you off by that, but just to be aware that mathematics is a big part of the program, but certainly doable. Students say with a bit of effort, it's doable. Okay, at this point, like to ask Hanny to put her camera and her microphone on, and she's currently a second year student, and she's going to share a little bit of her experience as a first year student at International Business School. Thanks, Hanny.
Yeah, thank you. And hello, everyone. My name is Honey, and I'm in the first year of international business. Oh, sorry, a little bit there. I have some problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm starting now. Hello, my name is Honey, and I'm in the second year at Hanze. I would like to share with you a little about my first year experience. So about the program, International Business is very broad program. You learn a lot about many topics. What I personally really value is the deeply rooted connection to sustainability. And the subjects are super interesting. HR management, where you dive deeper into psychology, which is one of my favorite subjects. And the creative part of marketing and international law as well. Moreover, if you ever have questions or concerns, your academic advisor will be there to help you, as well as student counselors. So, and if I talk more deeply of my experiences before joining Hanze, I was terrified of the subject statistics, and I was thinking I would not be able to learn it. And now I'm quite good at the subject and gained confidence because of our dedicated lecturers, as one of our lecturers made great explanatory videos that the students who are similar to me can like and learn the subject. Students have different competences and skills. Others may need help with any other subject because every student is different. However, report writing are going to be a significant part of your degree. The reports will be mainly written in groups, and group work can be pretty challenging as well, sometimes because you have to work with different people and adjust with them. So in this program, we are also taught intercultural competence, which is essential in an international setting. So you really have to put some effort in your studies so it pays off. But again, as I already mentioned, this program is very diverse. And of course, your career choices will also get diverse. That's why I feel I made the perfect study choice. Furthermore, Hansa loves sustainability. In period 2, you will learn project called Soulmate, where you learn more about sustainable development goals and renewable energies in detail. So about the student life in Groningen, well, it is a cool and quiet city. I feel it's perfect place to study, especially for me to focus my studies, because I came from a big, booming, crazy city, Dubai, where most of the time I was not focused in my studies. But honestly, this town is absolutely amazing to be a student. It has so much to offer. There's cafes, bars, museums, and the Groningen Forum, which is one of the best places I like to go. And thank you for your attention now. I welcome Ms. Rosalind to continue.
Thank you, Honey. Yeah, really nice to hear about your first year experience. One nice thing that you said was about the videos that the teacher had made for statistics. So it's also, yeah, different ways of learning, and maybe you need more time, especially for a subject like statistics. Having videos you can then watch them at home later on in the evening and really then understand them. So I think it's a nice way to learn. So thank you, Honey. You'll see in the bottom of this slide, it talks about hard work, commitment, and a lot of fun. Of course, yeah, you'd expect to have to work hard. It's your bachelor degree. But if you come in with the attitudes, commit to it, it also is a lot of fun because of this unique environment that we all share together. At this point, so after the first and second year, the students have their year abroad. Students, we call it year abroad, and students say it's the best year ever. So I will ask Ivan to come on screen now, and he will share his experience. He's just returned from his year abroad, so it's very fresh in his mind. So he will give you an insight to how he spent his best year ever. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone. My name is Ivan. I am currently in my fourth year international business at the Hanze University. and I will tell you about my year abroad. I just came back 4 days ago from Israel. To start off, you can choose basically between 60 countries or 80 countries and more than 100 universities worldwide. So you can go to Russia, Australia, Canada, United States, Asia, like South Korea or Bangkok. So basically, everywhere you want to go, you can go, which is an amazing opportunity. And I choose Tel Aviv back then because of COVID mainly, actually, but it turned out to be amazing anyways. As you can see in the pictures, I had many different views. I had Tel Aviv in the bottom left, top left, sorry, with an amazing skyline and amazing beach where I was sitting basically every second day, 30 degrees in December. Really enjoyed my life with friends and some football. But I had a good university because the Coleman College where I went to is the most prestige and most expensive college in Israel. But the good thing about it was that there's no tuition fee because you pay in Holland, so you don't pay anything in Tel Aviv. And there I learned mostly finance-related subjects, but also entrepreneurship because Tel Aviv is the startup hub. I also went on trips, for example, to Jerusalem, Bethlehem, had great parties and met amazing people along the way, Israelis, but also exchange students from France, from America, from Australia. So again, a very international environment with lots of fun and lots of experiences. And I also went for my placement to Geneva, Switzerland, where I went for an asset management company where I worked in stock analysis, so the stock market to be more precise. You have to imagine you have to look for a company outside of your home country and outside of Holland, which first sounds challenging, but at the same time, you have a list from Hanze. They provide you with, I think, more than 200 different companies where Hanze students have been before. So they already know Hanze students are quite good equipped with the skills, knowledge, and language skills. And in my example, one person also from Hanze University right before me finished there, and they really liked him as a person and also his skills he obtained at Hanze. And they said, hey, we want someone again from the same university. We made good experience with him. So I applied, got the job, and it was, again, amazing. To give you a few more ideas what companies there are in the list, it's, for example, Audi, it's Bosch, it's Tesla, it's Hugo Boss, it's Mercedes. So like very, very broad and very, very different companies, but very high brands in that sense all over the world, from New York to Melbourne to everywhere you can think of. And I went to Geneva, as you can see, a bit of a different scenic than Tel Aviv. So this time mountains, snow, and skiing. But at the end, again, people from everywhere in the world, amazing experiences, an amazing time for me. And as Ms. Gibson said, the best time or the best year of my studies, definitely, which I only can recommend, and was one reason for me to actually go to the study because of the year abroad. And now I'm going to Munich for my DPJ. So again, abroad, which is amazing, I think. And if you have more questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Really nice to have a quick insight to how you spent your best year ever, should I say. So really nice. But after this fantastic year, the best year ever, the students come back and reality hits because it's about finishing off your graduation year. So you'll see on the screen there that we have graduation minors. So Ivan, as part of his internship, spent his time working in finance. And then through the internship, you get to discover what you like, what you're good at, maybe what you don't like. And then we ask students when they return after this year abroad to choose an area that they want to specialize in. After that semester, students work on a graduation project. Even mentioned that he's going to work in Munich for a company. And again, this is another piece of work experience working for a company who have a problem or an issue or an opportunity. They don't have the resources to look into it themselves. So then our students go in, act as sort of a consultant, do research, and then come up with recommendations, very practical recommendations. And what we like and what we see quite a lot, companies ask our students to stay or come back after they graduate to help them implement the recommendations that they have found through their research. So again, it's also a first opportunity to enter in the job market. So we're really happy with the work our students do, and the companies are very happy as well with our students. So yeah, graduation, you will see the picture on the screen is a nice celebration, and students graduate with their Bachelor of Business Administration in International Business. So if you're thinking, okay, I've heard a lot and I heard some nice things about this fantastic year abroad, maybe you're thinking, okay, is this for me? So maybe think about this international environment, about going abroad, how you feel about that, studying English, being exposed to all these new experiences. think about those things. And if you think, well, yeah, that sounds really interesting for me, then this could be a very suitable program. So just something for you to continue thinking about. Of course, during studies, we hope everything goes well, but of course there might be some difficulties or challenges. Things don't always go the way we want. So we like to support students as best as possible where we can. And we have several ways that we do that. And the screen just covers some of them. I'll not go into them all in detail, but just so you know that if things get difficult, there's always someone to reach out to. At this moment, I would like to ask Marnix, one of our students, one of our second year students, to come, put his video and camera on, and he's going to introduce this short presentation about the languages at IBS. Thank you, Marnix.
Hello, Ms. Gibson, and hello, everyone else. I'm Marnix, I'm a second year student, and I'm in the 4-year course. Now, by being in a 4-year course, you have to choose a language. And what I did was choose Spanish, which I've had over 18 months. Together with my fellow students, we are going to be doing language pitches shortly. But before we do this, I'm first going to explain the advantages learning another language has in business. Now, first of all, languages, if you speak another language, it can break down communication barriers. Second of all, you can build trust. You can build trust with the person sitting across from you. That could be a huge advantage to you doing business. Another final thing is you get a different worldview. You get to know more about culture. Now, it's time to now move on to the language pitches. I will start in Spanish, then my fellow students are going to take over in Dutch, French, German, and Chinese. In every pitch, we are going to mention our name, age, and the reason why we chose the language. So I'm going to start now in Spanish. Hola, me llamo Marnix, tengo 21 años, soy holandés. Yo estudio español porque me gusta España.
Hallo, mijn naam is Alia Nugraha. Ik ben 20 jaar oud en ik kom uit Indonesië. Ik studeer Nederlands omdat ik wil proberen te communiceren met de lokale bevolking.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Esme et j'ai 18 ans et j'ai choisi français parce que je trouve que c'est une langue très belle pour écouter mais aussi pour parler.
Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen. Mein Name ist Hani. Ich bin 26 Jahre alt. Ich komme aus Dubai. Ich möchte Ihnen sagen, warum lerne ich Deutsch? Ich möchte verschiedene Sprachen lernen, weil in der Schule als Kind ich habe Italienisch und Französisch gelernt. Und nun werde ich Deutsch lernen, darum ich finde Deutsch sehr interessant. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Danke.
你好，我的名字叫 Iris， 我是黑人人，我今年22岁了，我会说英语、黑人语、德语和法语，我学汉语、中国菜很好吃。And that was it for the language part, and I would like to give the floor back to Ms. Gibson.
Thank you, students. Thank you so much. Really nice to hear how far your language skills have come in quite a short period of time. Good. Now, at this point, I would like to open the floor to any questions and answers. So we have given you a lot of information. I appreciate that. But if you have questions now, please feel free, put it in the chat. Or if you want to put your hand up, raise your hand, you can do that. And then we will ask you to ask your question. We have students here. We have some colleagues here. We have our admissions officer here. So please feel free to ask your questions and we will help you as best as possible. I'm just going to move the chat to see what comes in, to see how we do this. So there was a question already from Tessa that my colleague Elizabeth has answered. Maybe that's interesting for the rest of the audience. What is the ratio of Dutch students compared to foreign students? This is always interesting for us as well, because of course we have, we are in the Netherlands. Of course, we get a lot of Dutch students, but it's also nice to look at the breakdown. So 41% Dutch, 15 German, and 30 from another European country, and 14 non-European. So it's quite diverse. And it's very normal. We have a lot of Dutch and of course Germany as well, because we're so close, but we do get a lot of international students. Questions come in from Joris. Are you teaching from books or real life research? Of course, Joris, we use textbooks as our main source because exams are based around textbook, and that's how we can test the knowledge. So there are elements that we have to have textbooks for that, but then there's a lot of other ways of learning. When you say real life research, I'm not sure exactly what I mean by that, but we would have guest lectures that come in. We have companies that give us projects. So they say, yeah, we don't know how to do this. Can your students help with this? So we try to make it as practical as possible. And of course, it's not always possible for every single subject, but where possible, we do that. So we also work with simulation games. So rather than just writing an assignment, our students work with computerized simulation business games. And Marnix has put his hand up. He's maybe going to help me out there. Or have you something else you want to answer, Marnix?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
don't know what happened there. Your hand came up.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to answer Paolo's question.
Okay. Well, let me just, so Joris, I hope that's answered correctly and enough. If not, put another question and I can maybe go a bit further into detail. Okay, Marnix, you want to ask Paulo's question?
Yes, apologies for the interruption. So the 3-year program has less credits because, well, technically you get taught you get taught different courses. You will not get taught everything as you get taught in the 4-year course because you're already at that higher level on VWO, whereas students from the 4-year course, they may have a slightly lower level. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So it's just the setup of it, Paulo, with the requirements, the entrance requirements, that makes a difference with how the credits are, well, that they look. But the diploma at the end is exactly the same, so it's worth the same. Okay. We have, let me just flick back to my screen to see what hands are up. Alia, I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah, I can try to answer the question from Hannah. She asked if we can choose 2 or more languages to learn. In the first year and second year, you have to take a language and you can only choose one. And every week you would have 2 classes of the language. So if you chose more than one language, it would be a lot. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to make time for other business subjects, so we limit it to one language, and sometimes we see that's enough for students because they have so many other things to do at the same time. So yeah, one language. We have a language center that offers languages, not part of your program, but if you wanted to maybe do something in the evenings, that is possible, but it's an additional fee, etc. Okay, let me see, where are we at with questions? Luna has a question. I'm not sure maybe if our admissions officer has this information at hand. What is the percentage of students that previously studied international baccalaureate? Not sure if we can, let's see if we can find the answer to that, Luna. I wouldn't know it off the top of my head. But maybe if Manon has some background information somewhere, we will see. Yeah, I thought it was a difficult one, Manon. So it's a message in the chat about sending an email. Okay. A question from Isabel. The admission requirements for Dutch students with a HAVO diploma. And then my colleague has answered already with the chat about the different profiles necessary or suitable for this program. Good. Okay, while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, it's now 3:30, but we still have some time, so please don't feel you have to rush off with some questions. I'll put on the screen some more information about how you can find out more. Maybe you think, oh, you need to think about this, you need to come back to it. We have a lot of points of